Hey everybody, just a quick message from Bald and Bonkers Network. We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
In life, you never know what crystals may just lie inside what you see. This is The Inner Court, featuring Smith Family Paranormal Investigations. Uncover the gems deep inside the mysteries to see what you discover.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, good morning, whatever part of the world you come from. Tonight, we will be talking about how Eugene, Oregon got its name and the history behind that state. If you do wind up coming in, please share out. Hit that thumbs up. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe to B&B, Smith Family, and Sherry. We are all in this together, and we have done tremendous work. So I'm going to introduce our associate tonight, Samuel. He will be reading the report tonight. And then after hi, Mom. And then I know. And then after Samuel is done reading, then I will show off some photos that he has sent to me from the state. And then I have a historical picture that I have also found myself. So when you do hop in, please say hello. Hey, Sam.
Hey, folks. How y'all doing in internet land?
We're here.
Well, in 5 seconds, we'll get started. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that's joining us and everything. You guys are the ones who keep us going, and we do appreciate y'all all the time that you give up just to tend to us and everything. And too many things to go around, so I'll get started.
All right. Well, I'm going to drop down. I will be in the chat, but I will be also in the back as well.
Well, here we go. The city of Eugene has a lot going on and can be seen as sort of a shining gem for the state of Oregon. It has a population of over 175,000, and there are many draws to Eugene, including employment. Much of the employment is with the city of Eugene itself. Many of these jobs pay well. Seemingly at the lowest of it is $35,000 per year with benefits, and the pay keeps getting higher for so many other people. There are a lot of options on this issue of faith for many people and for just about anyone. There are various forms of Christianity to go to a place at. Many people that call themselves Baptists have a place too. When it comes to that of Islam, the doors are always welcome for people to come in. Unitarian Universalists have their place among with all that. Basically, interfaith people that have choices, people with interfaith choices have choices also. We should also not forget Buddhists along with that. Faith-wise, there's a place for everyone. Along with the issue of Eugene, the city is largely blue, and most believe in the right to choose. Gun control, and most are willing to pay higher taxes for what they believe in the betterment of the city and its people. On the issue of people that are organizers that help with certain plans, there is a big hospital in Eugene, and Eugene and other places they can go to when you are in need of help, whether it is something minor or a huge problem. Added on to this, education is extremely important in Eugene, and it shows. There is a the University of Oregon is one of the primary schools of course, elementary, middle school, and high school. The community college is here to give a higher education on a budget that gives employment to those in need. Transportation options from a bicycle program, somebody's personal vehicle, and even the bus that gets the job done on if you are in need of a ride. Whether all of this being said, it is amazing how amazing city for many people. With all these wonderful things that have been just about Eugene, Oregon, it took a while to get there. The journey was not easy and a bit bloody. The state was founded in February 14th of 1859, Valentine's Day. The state was partially founded on a premise of being anti-slavery. The town of Eugene, Oregon, was founded in 1853. Someone by the name of Eugene Skinner was the founder of this city and the town, and went from Eugene City to just Eugene in 1889. The man was a farmer, lawyer, a cowboy, even a politician, along with the founder of the city. While protecting his cattle during a horrible flood, he fell ill. He did survive for a while, but his health was never the same, and in December of 1864 he died. The Civil War lasts from the years 1861 to 1865. The Civil War was something of a conflict that divided Americans universally. Brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, friend against friend. Oregon was a Union state against slavery, of course, but there were many of them that had different beliefs in the way of the Confederate sympathizers. Confederate sympathizers were those people that believed in states' rights, but not always believing in the slave trade. With all this, in 1862, the state raised Oregon's first cavalry. This was from 1862 to 1865. With this, Americans fought against Native American tribes. Most of the war was fought using guerrilla tactics. With this, relations got much worse, which led to the Snake War that lasted from 1864 to 1868. Sometimes those regiments would do security to safeguard people, to build roads, protect settlers, and sometimes protect Indian reservations and also protect trade routes. In doing all this, blood was spilled time and time again. No matter what your thoughts are on that, killing is still killing. In total, over 1,700 were killed, captured, and wounded during the Snake War. It is considered to be a forgotten war that so many people perished in. In the essence of all this, could there be a spiritual activity that resonates with the people to this day? There are a few graveyards in Eugene, Oregon, but the one that is addressed is Pioneer Cemetery. Majority of the burials were from the 1900s to the 1930s. Possibly the majority of the plots were 3803 burials and about 759 blocks. Many of the deceased had their graves done incorrectly. They did not use a metal tag, which is for the state. They did not include the date of the death, and none of them had a funeral home name. It did not show burial arrangements also. Many of the burial plots were sold and not reported. Overall, the records were terribly kept, and there are some local legends about the ghosts in the cemetery. One of a Scotsman that is out on certain nights comes playing bagpipes and dressed in full Scottish regalia. There is another legend of a woman dressed in what looks like Victorian white dress and always looking for something at night. The woman is reported as cleaning gravestones and tending to other entities, which is not always known. There is speculation that the statues will get up and walk around and talk to people at certain times of the year. The one thing that most people seem to agree on is that the entities are not out to hurt the living or cause trouble for the living. In theory, they seem to want to help others through thick and thin. A place that is reported to have been or maybe haunted is Looper Pioneer Cemetery, and has been vandalized many times. If it was the history that relates to the pioneer days of Oregon Trail, and has changed hands many times throughout the years and the generations, to some degree, it has been considered abandoned, and what the elements have taken their toll on the cemetery. It can be considered out of the way and rather quiet. In digital equipment, it has been reported that white silhouettes have been reported, and some claim orbs with it. Batteries are known to deplete when they are considered to be fully charged. Added on to that, sudden winds have become known to pick up, and even odd EVP readings, which means electro voice phenomenons, recordings, have been known to happen. Unless you have a pass of some kind to go out at night, do not go unless you want to have a trespass warrant issued out to you. The Art House is a place that is a tiny bit off 13th Street in Oregon, and it has an espresso bar and plays foreign and independent films. It was a mission-style church and a mortuary at a point also in history also. People feel like they are encountered a different sort of presence there, but the presence seems to have no ill will towards anyone, and that goes and just wants to enjoy the ambiance there, and sometimes wishes to have a drink or even a cup of coffee. Another graveyard is called Eugene's Masonic Cemetery. It's considered to be the oldest cemetery in Eugene. It has been founded a very long time ago and became incorporated in 1859, and the place has ties to Freemasonry. It also has been a place for the prominent elite of Eugene, and has been buried, including the founder of the town of Eugene, Skinner. One of the years and many of the generations, cemetery fell into disrepair and neglect. Along with all this, the cemetery was the subject of vandalism. With this, landscaping is not done all the time because people and volunteers want to keep the native plant life flourishing. Even with all this, orbs have been reported in certain photography sessions among many different people. Many people that have been there after dark have reported foot traffic in open areas. Apparitions that seem to manifest there, and even voices that no one can make out to what they hear exactly. Some people claim that that some of those entities that are there are in great need of such. Some people claim that those entities help those that are in great need of such care, that such as injury. It's estimated that between 2,000 to 3,200 homeless are experiencing homelessness, according to the EugeneOregon.gov. I can't seem to pronounce that. Speculation is said that 1/3 of the population of the homeless in Eugene is said to have been some kind of mental illness. It's estimated that 200 homeless people have died in January of 2022 to June of 2022. January 2022 to June of 2022. With all this, there is the potential of attachments happening to these people. Most of them start drugs. Many of them can get into fights and assaults, and even sometimes the potential of verbal confrontation with people that have nothing to do with the conflict that they face, and also there's a chance of prostitution. For so many of them, these acts are over the top, not in their character. The attachments can be those that happen in fact, not necessarily controlling the person, but influencing the person to do these acts, these strange acts that go against their character. In various parts, whether urban or suburban, there's a certain amount of supernatural activity. Activity is argued up and down with people. Orbs are considered to be spirits that are in a certain form that can take to the center as solid with spokes of light. Whether you believe in it or not, there are entities even in the city part of Eugene. People that say it is just dust, and keep in mind speculation is needed on this issue, but the shapes are different in just about every shot in Eugene, depending on your geography. Pictures that have been taken in the city of Eugene is desolated and not so deserted in other areas too. Some of these pictures show orbs of various kinds and are also different colors of the orbs. Another thing in catching those entities on camera is not just on orbs. Seeing pictures, though, there will be speculation on that, what they are, but how they go around and what they have their intentions towards. Sigils are considered to be drawn with chalk or even painted with symbols, and symbols that have mystical properties that can be unique to the purpose and also the significance as to what they're being used for. Depending on what you think and what you feel, as said, can be used for just about anything. In theory, it has been said that they can be portals, and they have been known to go into the entities. They have been known to go into, or even in titles or entities to come from. And as said before, these entities that come from these sigils, if that is the case, they may explain why the people have erratic behavior and that they normally go against their character. In a general sense, because of the amount of influence of these attachments, if this is the case, anyone can be subjected to the influence that is completely spent against their character. In a general sense, Eugene is a place that has its wonder, has done what it can be. That is a city that is about leading by example. It does everything it can to be there for its citizens. It has certain shops that are extremely charming and has work for people that are willing to do that. It has certain, most people consider it to be a gorgeous city that people love. With it, the city has its history. Eugene Skinner is that of the city's founder. He took chances, and so much of it succeeded and helped to shape Oregon's history. The Civil War was that of an enigma of passionate ideals, and many claimed that the war that was about the states' rights, and others said that it was about fighting to rid the nation of the moral catastrophe of slavery. It took a lot of lives, and the nation was never the same. The Snake Wars happened because the nation not living up to the treaties it said it would do. It was mainly guerrilla tactics and had disastrous results that went with it. There are many supernatural attractions that do not just involve graveyards here, but also buildings. And seemingly, the entities that are about enjoying things that they never got to enjoy in life. On a different note, there is the issue of the cult in places that are of the downtown area, and also close to the University of Oregon. But more like that in the middle. In other words, moderate. You may see people in the streets minding their own business, even walking their dogs. But if you walk into an alley, you might find some different sorts of things, such as people acting against their own character and influenced by that, and that they would never do. You may see people minding. Okay, but if you walk into that, let me get back to that. But if you walk into an alley, you might find different sorts of things, such as people acting against their own character and seemingly being influenced to do things that no one ever really do. There are various mystical symbols called sigils. Everywhere in those alleys and on the streets and sidewalks. But those, in theory, those might be that of a gateway that can be released in the downtown area and even close to the university. The city of Eugene is no stranger to riots, and maybe those entities have become those of the sigils, also called attachments. Can be thought and wanting to do harm, so they can harness the energy from that reason. In between the area of those places is that of a sigil that ties with all the face that may be catastrophic. If this is the case, it would explain the riots have happened off and on again for years now. No matter what your take on the supernatural is, there's a presence. You could say presence is something that need to be taken account of. So, what do you guys think? Anything that you might think of? Any questions?
Hi, guys. It'd be nice if I unmute myself. That works better. It's been a night. If you guys have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Now I'm echoing. What happened? Anyway, we'll continue.
Okay.
I am going to show some pictures. This one that I am showing. See if I can get it up. Is Eugene back, I'd say 18. You can see the old signs, the buildings, the cars, the mountain view in the back.
Yeah, it's definitely 20th century. Definitely is.
So this is Eugene, Oregon, when I would assume right after they settled and all that. So it is definitely some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will show, these are pictures of Sam's. They have tons of orbs in them. This one, I don't know what it was thinking, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to miss the step. But these are beautiful pictures.
Well, you also have to remember some of these pictures. I had to be on my feet. I had to be ready to go and everything. I would have taken a lot more, but I didn't want to be looked at as loitering in certain areas. But some of these ones I got very, very lucky on. I got not just very, extremely lucky on. And the one thing is that so many of you appreciate that sort of thing, and so do Chad and Linda. So trying to back up what I do camera wise to fit this report.
Yeah. So this is I would assume the Central Park area. And again, there's tons of spirits just lurking around. Maybe one day he'll come back here at night and maybe do a spirit box or something for us and see what we can get.
I was planning to.
Just the alleyway, but again, you see that there's some. But this is just a beautiful state, one of many that we have.
Did you find the one with the tree? Did you find the one with that city block that I don't know where it's at. I did send it to you guys. But it's like this tree. It looks like a black and white photo, but it really isn't. And you're showing this one. The three pictures I took, and then the fourth one you might get a kick out of.
This is a parking garage. This is not a vehicle. One, it sits up too high. A vehicle lights would probably be down here. Two, I just noticed that there's a third one that looks like a possible head. And then you have these two. Now, I don't know if they are orbs. I don't know what exactly they are, but that's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
And he did catch them in 3 different ones. As you see, the figure here is gone, but the lights are separated. I do think there's something in the middle, but again, I'm not quite sure. Same thing here.
Now show the fourth one. No, the other one.
That's it.
You see the one where the alley and the 3 that I took? The one with yes, right there. Right there. That was the same area that I took that at.
Oh, with this?
Those three I took beforehand, and this was number 4 that I took of that.
Okay.
So the thing is, I caught something and I have no freaking idea what it is.
Yeah, and this one looked like it did not want you to catch anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the movement here, but with it being so shaky, it's one of those, they really didn't want you to catch anything. So this is just a neighborhood, a regular neighborhood. This is a fire element. I do think this could possibly be one. If Sis was here, she could probably tell me better because it has that red tip to it. But I do know this is a fire element here. Orb City, you are so right. So right. And they are just all over.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of stuff that I took. I mean, plus it was starting to get a little chilly at the time. And you know how Floridians are whenever it comes to cold.
They took 5 aside, not circular. Yeah, they are 5-sided. Yep, you are so right. This one, this one, this one. There's a few of them that are, as you look through it. So you can definitely, they are orbs, but they are a different kind of orb. And like I said, this one is definitely a fire element. I'm not quite sure this one. I want to say yes, but with how faint the coloring is, I may
Well,
be wrong.
well, if I could get the filters going, I do have filters going on that. Now, there are some pictures that Linda, not Linda, but some people have missed, and it's on my, God, what do you call it? My Instagram account. If you guys are interested in looking at that, it's differently 9560, and that's my Instagram account in case you want to take a look at it.
Yep, he has all types of photos there. This state is definitely one of the oldest, and when it settled, it was definitely named from the gentleman that discovered the land, Eugene, and that was his name, Eugene. So with the state being Oregon, he just named the city Eugene. So, that's how that goes. And in remembrance of him, that's what he wanted to do when he broke land, essentially.
Yeah. But I will say this much for our skeptics that are watching this. I appreciate you and I love you people, the skeptics that are watching this. And I do all of us do everything we can to debunk certain things through thick and thin.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever that happens, it shows more valid. It makes what we do more valid, and what makes it more It makes it better that somebody can't debunk it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never mention our skeptic friends. I love you, and we all do, and that's why you're needed. So that way you can get rid of the fantasy. But here's the thing with us. We do everything to prove that we can, and these things that are going that way. So if you take a look at it, these orbs are not in the same place. There's no dust on there. Every single shot, every single time I pull out my camera, I clean the lens, and sometimes 2 or 3 times that night.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do to prevent dust from kicking in, and there you go. So, like I said, with Chad and Linda, they taught me that to keep your stuff running top notch, keep your stuff charged, and things like that. And I will continue to keep doing that to prove that these are valid photos.
Mm-hmm. Now, I just brought something up, and it is on a travel blog. So it is something from Eugene Casadega's Coast. Hey, sis, thank you for coming in. The Eugene, Casadega, and Coast region, Land County, sits astride on the landscape and land of Oregon Coast Mountain, Wilmington Valley, Prairie, Casadega, Foothill, and High Mountains. There were numerous tribes who lived in the landscape for more than 10,000 years. The tribes since have been immortal. I think I said that right. I may not have. The original tribe of Eugene is the region where the Sutlaw and Aska tribe. Sorry if I pronounce some things wrong. I do get tongue-tied. They had a coastal culture and assessed many environments from inland coast mountains and hunting and gathering to the shore sea of shellfish, fish, and sea mammals. The tribe lived in the river and up to the river basin where they had access to many environmental gatherings. So when the tribe came to Eugene, then that's how they lived when they started out.
Yeah. And we're not the oldest civilization out there. I mean, there were people way before it, European settlers.
In 1855, they did not have to remove, unlike Hey, Chris, how you doing, hon? Unlike other tribes, because of the coast reservation has placed over their land in 1865, tribes southwestern Oregon were removed up the coast to be settled on Suitlaw and Asa River outlet. These accommodates became sub-agent of the coastal reservation and Cahoots, and so many more other tribes in the lower area. So they definitely settled back then. It is amazing what they do, what they have done. Here, I have some photos that I could possibly show of what they did. All right, share screen. Let's see if I can do this properly. So this is pretty much what I'm reading. This is one of the natives. And I will, let me do this now. Copy and paste for some good literature, because this is definitely good stuff. And this is from, as it says, History Museum. And this is what they would use. They built their own boats then. They didn't have like we have now where you can go and buy. No. So that's what they used. And then they made their own carrier for their little ones. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Y'all can help me out with that one. A young woman at her home in the South Valley. Many of American settlers began to invading the valley in 1844 as they arrived in Oregon Trail. The white men took a loman of land that the tribe used to gather food and beginning plowing on the prairie and planting crops. Plowing, destroying, and many prairie foods, forcing them each year to struggle harder to find enough food to harvest and preserve for the cold and long winters. The settlers hunted out their game, which is deer, bear, fox, rabbit, any of that such. If you're not familiar with the game part of it, their fish upriver and eliminate many food sources, forcing the tribe people to begin working as a laborer of the farm. The native people learned farming to help many farms, build many farms, fencing the fields, further kept them in the original lands, forcing them to even decrease the land. So it definitely goes a long way with this.
Yes, somebody really did their homework on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is them going down the main street. 1926 is when that was taken.
Yeah. Well, you have to remember this place has its secrets like any other place. And a lot of these people will do what it takes to keep the town going and this and that and everything. And it's an amazing town and a huge amount of history that some people will never know.
No,
or most people will never know.
no. And that's, the sad part, that there's a lot of good history. Thank
Hmm.
you. That is out here in the world, and it just needs to be researched. It just needs
Oh,
to be
yeah.
looked into. If people are interested in it, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Well,
So,
one of these days, whenever you guys get that RFE, you need to bring your tail ends over here, and then all of us go over to Casadega, and then go back over to here, and see how it goes from there. And as some of you see my report, my stuff on Casadega, now Eugene is a different ball of wax in the way that if we were to go to the mountains, and everything, um, over here, imagine what we could catch.
mm-hmm. Hold on. I had a.
But right now, right now is the time to go. But I don't have the transportation nor the equipment to go to those parts.
And that's okay. We'll eventually get there.
Oh God, yeah, we
This
better.
is. I found the picture of the guy that the state was named after.
He's interesting. I
This
think
is,
it's really little.
yeah. The founder wife suggested the unique name for the state of Eugene, and this is the guy that it was named after. So once they settled, they made sure that it was to be remembered as something of breaking land. So that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I should have taken pictures of it. And close to it, keep this in mind also, is that there's a picture of Rosa Parks that's kind of close to it. This state and this city have had a lot of influence throughout the country, and had a lot of influence around the country in so many ways. Certain things I can talk about, certain things I can't. But for the most part, this place has made its impact on the country in a whole.
Yeah. So as I'm reading here, the records and several readers have asked, the Eugene is named for Eugene Franklin Skinner, the founder.
Mm-hmm.
Skinner is a fellow whom landmarked Skinner Butt, known as a native, and is still a longtime engineer as Skinner Buck is named. So, a very well-known man.
Oh God, here.
Hey, Ken. Thank you for coming in. So, I do appreciate everybody coming in. Tomorrow, we will be doing the investigation. I am finishing up the editing tonight, and we will be doing the investigation part of what I did yesterday for Danielstown. You're not going to want to miss it because some awesome stuff happened then.
Oh God, yeah.
So,
and also added on to it, and this is backing them, Chad and Linda up. They will always take their bug out bags, and they always do, and so do I. And so with it all, I'm proud to be part of SFPI, proud of it and everything, and hopefully hope to stay with you guys for many years to come.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't see you leaving anytime soon.
Oh God, tell me about it.
So with that being said, we are going to end just a few minutes early. I do have a little one at the door begging for me to come see her. She just got out of the bath, so, it's fine. But yeah. I will see you guys tomorrow. If you have not done so already, please go and subscribe to all of these beautiful, wonderful people. If you would like to see us go on a road trip and do more investigations, please support us on our shop link. If not, and you just want to do a simple donation, that's fine. Just message us. We'll send you the links and stuff like that. Not a big deal. But with that being said, we are going to hop off. And Thank you, Christine. Thank you guys for coming in. I do appreciate all the support and love that you guys have showed us. And it is definitely grateful. So, with that being said, thank you, sis. I am going to hop off here. Love you guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
This episode is dedicated in loving memory to Mike the Naked Bigfoot Coleman. See you on the other side, brother.